You like my profane friend? Let's see how they go, you know what I mean? We'll tell them, you know what I mean? Yeah, what's this? She ain't hassling you, are you?
What?
Ain't hassling you?
People are saying fucking TK selling vapes to young kids, mate.
Selling what?
Vapes to young
Vapes?
kids.
See, this is the thing. People, you know, all kids got vapes. He isn't selling it to everyone. At the end of the day, let's look where the vapes come from, yeah? Right? Vapes come from the government, yeah? They're the ones that are in charge, yeah, are putting all the vapes. And what do they put the vapes out? And make them all colourful and all them little, you know, this is blueberry, bubble gum and all the rest of them sort of names, because they're targeting the kids. That's all the government do. If they were going to improve anything, they put solar panels on everyone's roof so you didn't have to pay rent, you know, the electric bill. Do you see what I mean? That would give you more money to spend on your children and having a better life. But they wouldn't do that, you know what I mean? They spend, you know, crap on, like, I don't know, like whatever that thing is across the road, you know what I mean? It's a circle and a square, yeah? You see what I mean? Oh, let me just show you what I mean. But that's what I mean. They spend all these thousands of pounds. I don't know what it costs to put this here, but there's about 5 new statues gone up around the town, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing about it. They don't, you know, they don't give a shit about. See, like this, like you see the squarelet, and then you got the circle, square and piss. You know what I mean? And then they spend all this money on these here, look, which is the Mercedes Law, Land, Air, Water, which is a Masonic cube. That's why it's got the dot here, because it's a Masonic cube, look. See, it's a Masonic box, you see, which is 6. And then that goes 666 all the way down there. But no one says nothing about that. Do you see what I mean? You know, all that money was wasted on them lights, do you know what I mean, and all that decoration, what they think is Christmas. Do you see what I mean? That's all money wasted by government officials that are Freakmasons working for the council, do you see what I mean? And that's how they get away with it all the time, over and over again, you know what I mean? And if you talk about vaping, you know, most of the kids on vapes are getting them, they are getting them from the adults, do you know what I mean? Or it's the proprietor of the shop, which, you know, if you know your shops, you know, which happen to be, you know, indigenous species, some of them, they do sell it under the counter to the children, do you know what I mean? Same as their tobacco and everything else they sort of do, you know what I mean? But like I said, how do you protect them? Because you go up there complaining, and don't tell me that, because I've done it, you know, and parents are just letting their kids vape, you know what I mean? And smoke dope, you know. I'm running around the estate, there's kids smoking bloody cannabis and all of that sort of shit, and they're on the I can't remember what this stuff is they're doing anyway, but you know, and I'm running around, and then I'm finding out that the parents are allowing the kids in their houses to do it in the house, and I'm going, well, you know, you're fucking supposed to, do you know what I mean? You're the parent. Do you want your child to be a raging junkie by the age of, you know, they're 15 at the moment, 14 and 15. By the time they get to 18, they're going to be raging junkies. Do you know what I mean? That's just how mad the system is, you know, and how they play it off, or play it off on us, you know. So them vapes, they, you know, oh, you know, that's like the what's that green stuff, you know, to replace heroin. You know what I mean? All that did was give people a double habit. That didn't cure anyone. You know what I mean? They never cure anything. They never make anything better. What has improved in anyone's lives, yeah, in say the last 50 years? What has improved for anyone? Nothing, because there's nothing going to be improved, because they don't want people, you know, they don't want people to stand up where they are, do you know what I mean? Because they are the gods, you know, the people, you know, you're without the temple, yeah, you're peasants, do you see what I mean? You're a nobody and you're a nothing, and that's how they rock and roll it all the time, you know what I mean? We're nothing, we're nothing to them, you know. All they do is make their nation better. And what they're also doing, yeah, is actually, you know, if it come to war, yeah, they're just arming themselves and making their strongholds better against us. Do you know what I mean? Every bit of money they're using is to take power over us. Do you know what I mean? They're building the tunnels because it benefits them. It doesn't benefit us. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones that are making strongholds within your towns, you know, where these shutters come up all down and they just go in there, or they go into their bunkers, yeah? They've been making these bunkers for years, you know what I mean? And if you're a special Freakmason in the family, that's where you're going to hide, you know what I mean? And there's water supplies there for a, say, you know, like 100-year war, do you know what I mean? They got the water supplies ready and waiting for their profane people, do you know what I mean? For their profane people, for their Masonic families. Look at that bag going down there. What a wind up. I see it all the time. Look, see that bag? Where is it? On that, wait there. But you got that woman with a shirt. Look, you got, where is she? Where is she? She's there. Look, she's got a black and white tiled floor bag, right? Yeah, on her shoulder. And then you got another woman walking down there. Where is she? Oh, I can't see her. She's disappeared. But they're all like, you can see the profane people, like this woman here, look, with this dress on. See, look? See it, look? Points within circles, look, and 232, 666. I bet she's not Masonic. Do you see what I mean? This is how they mark people, you know? All of this tells them, like, for instance, like, you know, if I said Rabboni, yeah? Now, if you don't understand the word Rabboni or Mahabone, you know what I mean? All of that, if you don't understand them words, then you're dead. They're going to shoot you because you're the enemy. You're the one without the temple. Do you know what I mean? And that's as simple as that, you know? And if you're speaking out about it or anything like that, and you don't give that reply, that's when they kill you or shoot you in a war, you know what I mean? You can go out with a troop of 20 men, think they're on your side, but the Freakmasons within that troop know who you are, and you're not coming back. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, when it kicks off, I've said it in videos many times before, when it kicks off and they go about, you know, that'll be the gangs, you know, that go about, the well-established Freakmasons, yeah, that control biker gangs, scooter gangs and all the rest of it. They're the ones going to go round, because you're already marked in the town halls and that already, so don't believe you in, because you are. That's how do you think they did it in Germany, who to target and who to put on the trains and all the rest of it, you know what I mean? And when the Freakmasons go, we were persecuted. No, you weren't persecuted, it's just that you were controlling all the towns and the cities. The ones that said, oh, we'll come on your side, they gave them a forget-me-not, do you know what I mean? So it was basically the forget-me-not was, yeah, we're on your side, do you know what I mean? We're neutral in this Masonic war, do you know what I mean? So we're a forget-me-not and we'll let you go, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. But I'll give you a tester now, yeah? Excuse me, do you know the word Rabboni? Rabboni, you never heard of it? No? How about a Boaz? No? How about this phrase, can you tie a bow?
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
What's that then?
I've heard it, I don't know what it means though.
Oh, it means a Boaz, yeah? So can you tie a bow, A-B-O, yeah?
Yeah.
And then the reply to that is as well as any man can, yeah?
Okay.
So if I said that to you and you didn't reply that, I could shoot you because I know you're the enemy, you see? I know you're not a Freemason, you see what I mean?
Okay.
That's like I say to you, have you seen a dog run past here?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? What was it? What yeah? No, but that's what I'm saying. I know you're not. No, I know you. Yeah, I know you didn't know. The reply to that is, did it have a blue collar on? Because the Freemasons wear a blue collar. You see what I mean? So that would be the reply. And then they'll say how tall it is, and they give a sign, a penal sign. But you say, what house number are you? Do you know the house number? Well, that'd be 33 for 33 degrees. You see what I mean? You see, and they're the signs. So if we're in a war, I'd know you're profane. I'm a Mason, but I might have the British uniform on. Do you see what I mean? But under that uniform, I'm wearing a Masonic apron. Do you see what I mean? So if you're in my troop and you didn't give that reply to me, I know you're profane. I'll just shoot you. We'll go out on patrol. You'll think I'm on your side. But as soon as you go ahead of me, you'll be the first to steam the bunker. If I was in charge, I'll go. You steam that bunker. No matter if you get killed, you're only profane. You see what I mean? If not, just to shorten the numbers of the people that are against them, they go, you go, and then they just shoot you down and you're a casualty of war, do you see what I mean? And that's what they do, you know? Crazy stuff, I know, but that's true. Anyway, thank you, kind lady, have a great day, and remember you're a sugar puff. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, you're right. But that's how simple it is, and no one knows them signs or them codes, you know what I mean? You know, like I said, Rabboni, Mahabone, Jubalon, you know what I mean? How about Jabulum? Do you know Jabulon? Jabulon? No, that's their three gods, Jabulon, yeah? Three gods they own, you know what I mean? But that's how simple it is. When it kick off, you know what I mean? And that will be a war.
Yeah.
They'll say a civil war or whatever, you know what I mean? But they'll have their people dressed as us, looking as us.
Yeah.
And then obviously they know where you are in the council, where you live. Do you know what I mean? They know all of that, all them Freemasons, because they run the councils, and all they do is pull it. They won't pull you out.
Yeah.
You know, they'll go for me, you know, because we know about it. Do you know what I mean? But they'll kill us. But if they want to thin the numbers, then they will kill you. They'll kill your families. They've done it before. They did it in World War II, remember?
Yeah.
And they kicked all the people out, put them on trains and that, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, see, that's what they do with us, do you know what I mean? But they pretend they're Germans, but they've got a uniform under there, which is a Masonic apron, do you know what I mean? If you do the research, you know.
Yeah.
But all these people here, they ain't got a clue what's going on. That's why they control the deaf industry, because every person that you see now walking around here is £5,000 to bury, do you know what I mean? Can you bury yourself? No, I can't. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but it should be free, shouldn't it? Do you see what I mean? You know, same as like pets, right? My friend, his cats just went down, and it cost him £3,000 for a capacitor or something, a little operation. You know, £3,000. My other friend, the dog bit the neck, put a gash in it, about an inch gash in the neck, right? Took it to the vet, so they went £1,700. They turned around and went, no, I'm not having that done. They went, oh, wait a minute, we'll go talk. Went through the room, come back in, £160. Do you know what I mean? And all they did was put 3 staples in the dog's neck. Do you see what I'm saying? So you imagine from 16 to £1,700 down to 160 quid, it just shows you how they're ripping people off. And they are, you know, because again, pets should be like an NHS system, do you see what I mean, you know? But again, they're wrecking all that, because then you're fighting and thinking, and you're blaming all these indigenous, they're bringing all these indigenous species out. You know, remember, we kept the Germans off our shores, you know what I mean? Now we're all coming in, we can't stop them. What the craze, do you see what I mean? They do it all by design, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's madness. Anyway, are you on holiday, are you? Oh, enjoy your holiday anyway. Whereabouts you from?
London.
Oh, are you? Oh, London, I love that down there. I did the London Eye down there, chatting down there. I'll give you one of my leaflets if you want to get into it. But like I said, they're dealing the drugs in the system, you know, because if you've got a lot of drug dealers, all they think about is their drugs, you know what I mean? Yeah, and they don't think about, you know, who's running the town, who's controlling this, you know what I mean? But they own all these businesses and they just will it down to each other every century, every decade. You want to own a business down here or in your town, you ain't getting it because you're profane, do you see what I mean? You can stack shelves in, you know, in the shops, and all that. That's slavery. They want you on that, but you ain't going to own no business, you know what I mean? Nothing. In fact, could you afford to own a business? There you go. You say, yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, and if you ask them, they can't. But they can, because they've got the money, they've got the wealth, and they pool it in. Like if there's 20 of us poor people pool in our gyros, 20 of us, that's 20,000 a month. So we then, you know what I mean? But then we'd have trouble getting deliveries, and there'd be all sorts of troubles, you know what I mean? Because they control all that as well, you know? Madness what they do. But anyway, that's my name on there. That's my Facebook. You know, you can get me on there and watch my videos. You'll be alright. You'll soon cop up. But that's all to do with, you know, like you said, you got little ones. They get to 17, 18. They're like on drugs and that. That's all come from the Masonic Lodge. And that's all the government. You know what I mean? It's not like fucking. You know, it's all done by design. We'll get them in a headlock and you can kick their asses, you know what I mean, baby? Well, they'd more than likely like that. They like all that bum stretching. Anyway, have a great day, Sugar Puff, and you have a great holiday. I'm sorry to wreck it, but yeah, I'm a shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're right, I know. I do make myself laugh. But, you know, and that's the point. See, profane people don't know what it means, do you know what I mean? None of it, you know? Like if I say... yeah, do you know Jabulum? Do you know Jabulum? No, Rab-Banian? Well, if I was a Freemason, you two would be shot because you're profane. Do you see what I mean? Have a great day. And that's how it is, you know. How about you, kind lady? Do you know? You ever heard of Jabulum?
No.
About Rab-Banian? A Boaz? Yeah. See what I mean? You'd be shot. Because if I was a Mason, I'd kill you because I know you're profane, you see. They're code words they use in the war, you see. But yeah, she's gone. I ain't got a clip. Oh, who's shouting? Oh, everyone's shouting. But that's what I mean. That's how simple it is. How they distinguish the profane. And when it kicks off, that's how they kill the profane and know their brothers are safe. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got a Grand Halen sign in war. Look it up. You know, Freemasons have a Grand Halen sign in war. They even put the signs on their bunkers, so it says to the other brothers, "Don't bomb here, because we've got Master Masons in this bunker." You know what I mean? You know, that's when they did prisoner swaps. The prisoner swaps, who do you think they were swapping as prisoners? The higher ranking soldiers, yeah, in the Civil War, because they were Freakmasons, you know what I mean? And you weren't allowed to shoot condition where not, what were they called? Something officers, you couldn't shoot them, do you see what I mean? And that's how it goes all the time with these Freakmasons, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the way it goes, you know what I mean? Hello, you lot, have a great holiday, even though it's crap here, but have a good day, yeah? Yeah, I know, yeah, you're right. Have a nice time. You're alright, Sugar Puff. What a lovely lady, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you know Rabboni, mate? Rabboni? Ever heard of Jabulon? Alright, yeah, get your bus, mate. See, no one knows, and if you don't give that right reply, that's just a couple. I'm using like 3 words, do you know what I mean? But their words are vast, you know? It doesn't matter what it is, if you don't know the reply, you're dead. Do you know what I mean? It's like going into your camp, yeah? You've got to give that right call sign. If you don't give that call sign, they shoot you. You see what I mean? And that's the same with Freakmasons. If you don't give that right call sign, have you ever heard of Jabulon? Jabulon? No? Rabboni? No? Alright. See, they don't know. How about this geezer? Hey, excuse me, kind man. Have you ever heard of Rabboni? Jabulon? No? Alright, mate. See, they don't know what it is. They ain't got a clue. And they're all, each and every one I'm asking. How about you, big guys? Do you know Rabboni or Jabulon? Never heard of it. No? See? Never heard of it. No one knows nothing, do you see what I mean? And this is the thing, all these profane people will be shot and they will be killed. All women, children, it don't matter what it is, they're all no bloodline. They're all dead and they don't even know it. Rabboni, you ever heard of Rabboni? Never heard of it. Good man, I love you. See, how about you, sir? Jabulon? Do you know Jabulon? Nah, oh, I don't blame you, mate. I wouldn't want to know him neither. How about you two kindly? Have you ever heard of Jabulon or Rabboni? No? Good answer, I love you. You see what I mean? No one knows, you know what I mean? But you know, I could show you, you know, when you do it, like I could give hands, you know, I could give someone a shake. Excuse me, kind man, do you know this shake here? Do you know that shake?
Oh, right, yeah, I do.
Where'd it come from?
Homos.
You're right, the Freemasons, that's right. Well done, mate, I love you. Yeah, he knew the handshake, homos, you know what I mean? But excuse me, do you know this handshake? Do you know that? No, right, so that's cool. Oh yeah, you're right, man. You know the shake, you know that shake, do you? Yeah, he know. But yeah, you see what I mean? They, you know, that's what I'm saying. If you don't know the handshake, even that handshake is going to get you killed in a Masonic war. Do you know what I mean? Because you ain't replied to him. Do you see what I mean? If you don't give the reply to that Masonic handshake, bang, you're dead, you see what I mean? Because that distinguishes you between the Freakmasons and the Profane, you see? And that's how it is. It don't matter. And don't think your children are safe, babies and people who are pregnant and all that. You ain't, you know what I mean? They will murder everyone, yeah? Rape, pillage and steal. And that's what they'll do. And that's what they've done for centuries and decades. You know what I mean? Look what they did during any war. Look at any war, what they do. And then they take all your children, yeah, and then they put them in their bunkers and use them as, you know, they retrain them how they want them to be. Do you see what I mean? And condition them. Excuse me, sir. Do you know this handshake? No, that's all right. Take it easy. It's hard to get people to shake hands nowadays. Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing, you know. It's a handshake. It's a password. That's you know, it don't matter what it is. If people don't know the reply, then that's, yeah, we know you're a freak. We know you're a profane person. You know what I mean? Look, he's looking at me. I'm looking at him back right in the thing. And one day now he's turned away. Look, whether he's a Freakmason or not, him there. Look, he keeps looking at me. I'll show you him in a minute. But he keeps looking. But he might have a family. I don't know. But look, he keeps looking at me. Look, you see. But that's what they try and do. They intimidate you. But you don't know who the Freakmason is because he's not wearing his Masonic apron. You see what I mean? Whether he is or not, I don't know. I can't tell. You know. Excuse me. Do you know? Have ever heard of Rabboni? No. Oh, whoa. God, bloody hell! I nearly got you killed there, mate. You're right, yeah? Take it easy. Do you know this handshake? Yeah. Do you know the handshake?
No, what's that?
You never heard of it?
No.
That's a Masonic handshake, yeah? For Freemasons. Ever heard of it? All right, take it easy. See, and that's what it is. You see, no one knows what it is. Hey, what's up? I ain't got the money on me. I'll get some in a minute and I'll give you some, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're all right. I've got none on me at the moment. I always got a bloody card. I'll get some though and I'll give you some, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Take it easy. I know where you are, Sugar Puff.
Yeah.
All right. Rabboni, mate. You know what I mean? Do you ever heard of Rabboni? Freakmasons? No?
I've heard of Freemasons, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that Raboni, if you don't understand it, I thought you're a Freakmason there, you know what I mean? They always staring me out and that. So, anyway, that's another story.
What's this staring you out, though?
Well, that's what I mean. What it is, they do that, and then you don't know who, when someone looks at you, you think, you know, that's like, they try and, that's like an intimidation. So, innocent people, you think, are Freemasons, you see what I mean? So that don't mean you are.
No, I saw you speaking to Asian chap, but you completely confused, that's what I was looking
Oh,
at.
yeah, yeah. Well, what it is, I'm trying to see, like, for instance, have you ever heard of Mahabone?
No.
No, see, again, if you don't know the reply to that, I know you're not a Freemason. I know you're not a Freemason, so I can shoot you. And that's what happens during war. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you go back to your base, you better give that call sign out. If you don't, you know what I mean, you're going to get shot. And that's what Freemasons do during the war, you know what I mean? They wear a British uniform, you can go out with 20 men, but behind that uniform, they've got a Masonic apron. And if you're profane and they don't want you coming back, or they've got a hit on you, they shoot you, you're a casualty of war, you see what I mean? And they know where everyone is. They did it during World War II, where they picked everyone out, you know what I mean? Boom, put them on trains, whatever. You know, blah, 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 and then their people filled in the bloody houses, you know what I mean? But they called them themselves Germans, SS, Gestapo, whatever it is, but they just weren't wearing their Masonic aprons, you know what I mean? That's what it is, you know, yeah, that's what it is. The same as you ought to see a handshake. Like a handshake would distinguish you from a Freemason to a, you know, to a...
So I did think Freemasons are meant to reveal themselves.
Oh, yeah, but... That's the thing, that they do reveal themselves if you ask them in normal society, and they'll give you a spiel, oh, we do charity, blah, blah, we're good. But Jimmy Savile did that, didn't he? Yeah, see what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, so that don't mean that. But in you know, you go to the town hall and say, who's a Freemason? They go, no one's here's a Freemason, but they're all Freemasons, you know what I mean? And they're controlling the society. They own all these businesses down here. Do they? Of course they do, yeah. You go, where do you think all them leases come from? They all belong to the Masonic Lodge, do you know what I mean? They all own all of that. And then they own all the deaf industry, so in every town and city they own the deaf industry. So every person you see walking down there is £5,000. You know what I mean? That's obviously some are more expensive. A lot of them will go to paupers' graves, you know what I mean? Because they can't afford to be buried, you know, they ain't got the money, you know? Yeah. Can you afford to go in?
In where?
In a grave, can you afford? Yeah, you're lucky, you're good.
Well, I'd rather not die, to be honest with you.
Hey?
I'd rather not die.
Oh no one wants to die, do they? But you know, what I mean is, but there's a lot of people that can't afford it, and that should be free on the NHS. Why should someone have to scrounge up £5,000 to bury themselves? In fact, everyone should own their own home, being given it free, and then if you want to bury them in your garden where you can just walk out your house and put the graves, you know, that's how it should be. That's what they do. They bury it on their land, and you go look at I'm trying to think of someone now. Summer Leighton Hall. He's got all his parents in his own backyard, isn't he?
I know about Bernard Matthews, eh?
Yeah, Bernie made same thing. You know, that's what I mean. They built a village out there, didn't he? Did he build the Hopton? I don't know if he built Hopton. No, not Hopton. The other one. The other one.
Well,
nice. He's a great guy.
See you later.
There's a Masonic shake. How about you, kind lady? Do you know what? You ever heard of Mahabone? See, she'd be shot. See? You've been shed, you'd be dead. Yeah, take it easy. See what I mean? And you can prove your point all the time, over and over and over again. How about you, sir? Have you ever heard of Mahabone?
No.
Raboni?
No.
Good man, I love you. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That distinguishes you between a profane person and a Freakmason. And I'm just giving you the basic. I'm giving 3 words out, 2 lines, and no one knows it. You know what I mean? But that distinguishes you between the enemy or you're within the temple, and that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Excuse me, kind lady, can you tie a bow? No. No. The reply was, as well as any man can, or as well as any woman can. But you see what I mean? If you don't know that reply, you see, they don't know. Dead. I know you're not a Freakmason because you're not giving me that right reply. Do you see what I mean? You know, crazy as it sounds, I know, but there you go. Let's try someone else. Have you seen my dog run past here?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
Thank you.
What
All right.
dog was it?
A Masonic one. It's called. He's a Masonic dog. But again, yeah. He just yeah. But that's again the name of the dog is either Hiram or a Biff. Do you see what I mean? Depending on your rank in the system, you know. Excuse me, sir. Have you seen my dog run past here?
I haven't, mate.
No. All right. See, that's what I mean. You can ask that simple question, and if you don't, you're dead. Do you see my dog run past here, mate?
I haven't. No.
All right, thank you. Do you see what I mean? No one's given the reply, you see what I mean? So the reply, all these people I'm asking are going to get shot, you see? Excuse me, you see my dog run past here?
No, we've been down there. So
Oh, right, he had a blue collar on.
No.
Well, if you see him, I live at number 33 over there. And the dog's name is Hiram, okay? He answers to Hiram. But there you go, you see what I mean? If you don't know them answers and them simple little lines, yeah, that distinguishes you between profane and an enemy. Do you know what I mean? A Freakmason, and you are the enemy. You are the profane. Sorry, mate, you alright? Yeah, everyone's walking on there. I just realised that. I said, but yeah, that's what I mean, the bike path. Now, can I ask you a question, kind lady? Have you seen my dog run past here?
No, I haven't seen the dog. No.
Oh, right, he had a blue collar on?
No, just come round the
His
corner.
name was Hiram?
No.
He just, I live at number 33, yeah, if you see it.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Rabboni? Jabulum? No? Okay, I love you, you're the best. Oh, there's another girl going, excuse me. We're standing in the bike lane. Anyway, have a nice day. Have a good holiday.
What dog is it?
Sorry?
What dog is it?
Oh, sorry.
Labrador. Is it
No.
Labrador?
Have you ever heard of Mahaboni?
No. I've got him on one up there, a bit of exact.
Oh, yeah? Was he that tall? Look, that's the reply, you know what I mean? When you go across the...
It's like a cream colour.
No, it's across my navel like that.
Oh, right, now I see one.
You like that when you go across your navel.
There was two together.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Oh, Hiram and Biff. Hiram and a Biff, yeah.
There was two together.
Yeah, that's what they were, yeah.
The other food was all
They're
right.
both 33 years old, you
Oh,
see.
are they? Oh, right,
Yeah. Total 66, you know what I mean?
What's he Randolph, is he?
Yeah, he's a bloody devil, I'll tell you.
I couldn't be on.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you see him, tell him Rabboni's looking for him, yeah? All right, thank you. You're the best, baby. Have a great day. You're wonderful. You see what I mean? People don't know the reply, but that's enough to get him shot. You see what I mean? Because I know he's a profane person, you know? You know what I mean? And that's as simple as that. That distinguishes you from being in the temple amongst the brotherhood, or without the temple, and you're profane, and you're the hated profane, the goyam. You know what I mean? So that's it, you know. Excuse me, sir, can you tie a bow? Can you tie a bow?
Can I fly a boat?
Tie a bow.
Tie a boat?
Yeah, tie a bow. A bow.
No.
No? Oh, well done.
I've never had anything like that. Will you tie a boat?
No, tie a bow, mate. No, it's like, the reply is, as well as any man can, yeah?
Oh,
A Freemason asks you that, say that, and then he'll, you know, he won't shoot you, because that's what they do, distinguish you between the right and the wrong. You know, when you go back to a base in the army, you got to give that call sign. If you don't give that right call sign, you're dead. You see what I mean?
What's it again?
Someone will say, can you tie a bow? Now, most people think it's tie a bow in, you know, or your bow tie in your shoe or whatever, but it's as well as any man can.
As well as any man can.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah, remember that, mate. That could actually save his life in the war. Do you know what I mean? But only for about 2 seconds, because they'll figure he's not a Freakmason just by the handshake. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about. It's the handshake. It's the call sign. You know what I mean? All distinguishes you, the hated profane, without the Masonic temple. You know what I mean? How about this guy sitting here? Let's try him. He's profane anyway. He looks it. But excuse me, kind man. Have you ever heard of Rabboni? No. How about Mahabon? No, Mahaboni, no? Oh, I love you. You're the best of the best of the best. You know what I mean? How about handshake? Have you ever felt this? Let me give you a shake. Tell me if you know the shake. No, like this. Can you?
No, I don't know that one.
You didn't know that one, no? No, that's Masonic. You ever heard of Freemasonry?
Yep.
Yeah. Are you a good brother?
Yep.
Oh, you're a brother? Oh, wicked.
No, I'm not.
I was going to say, I didn't feel you give me the reply, but you know. Oh, baby, I'm so excited, I could crush your grape. But my dog ran past here, his name was Hiram. Did you see him? He had a blue collar. No? I live at number 33 anyway, if you need to come back, alright? Alrighty, have a great day. That was all past signs for Freemasonry. I know you're profane because of your replies were shite, so I can shoot you, you know what I mean, because you're an enemy. You're not within the temple.
No.
I just got my foot in the door, that's all I got. I'll get shot anyway. They'll find out I ain't one. That's like a Rubik's Cube. Have a good day. How about you, sir? You're a big lad. Are you a Freemason? No? No? Alright.
You didn't smoke, did you?
No, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I'm boring, I am. You know me. That's why, you know, you've got to take your time. Yeah, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs. That's where the Freakmasons want you, you know. Watch them. So, yeah, so there we go. I can't, you know, look at that. Coca-Cola, CC, yeah? 33 degree Red Lodge Freakmasonry right there. Do you see what I mean? And remember that original taste, yeah, the original taste, which is not in it no more, used to be cocaine, you know what I mean? So that's what they were allowed to do. They were allowed to put cocaine in your Coca-Cola. Do you see what I mean? That's how messed up these people are. You know what I mean? Do the research, it's not a lie. A lot of people don't even know it, you know? Yeah, Coca-Cola in your Coke, you know what I mean? CC, you know, that's the great taste. That was to keep you addicted to drugs, you know? You know, get you on the old cocaine, yeah? CC, 33 degree, Masonic Red Lodge, silly Masonic Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Owned by Freakmasonry, still owned by Freakmasonry. If they could put heroin in that drink, they fucking would. Or any other crack cocaine they could get, and they do, I suppose, they get away with it and all. You know what I mean? They put horse meat enough in finders for years, didn't they? You know what I mean? But are you a travelling man, are you, sir? Oh, are you not a Freemason? Oh, he knows the reply though, doesn't he? You know you are a travelling man. You know you are. You're heading east, mate. I see. Yeah, he's a Freakmason. He knew. He was laughing. See, that's how you spot a Freakmason, just by them simple little replies. You know what I mean? Are you a travelling man? You know? Are you travelling east? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's looking, he's laughing, like he's saying, "Arr." That's what he say, who is that? What's he doing? You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's the basics of it, do you know what I mean? But you ask anyone in the town, you know what I mean, are they travelling, man? You know, a Freemason knows the reply. Anyone else don't know a clue, man, you know? Excuse me, are you a travelling man? No, yeah, you know. I love you, mate. Take it easy and have a great day. He knows. I think he is a Freakmason as well, but who knows? He's all right anyway. You know what I mean? You can't please everyone. He's going, don't speak to me. I think he knows. He knows. Are you a travelling man, sir? No? All right. But that's a simple, you know, I mean, I could go on all day with it, you know what I mean? And like I said, you ain't going to get Freakmasons here, because this is what the Profane do. The Profane come to town, they consume products, spend their money, and keep themselves poor, do you know what I mean? While the rich just, you know, wait for the people to come in and keep the money flowing to them, you know what I mean? And people just walk around with all these products in their bags, look. Yeah, like all these little bags, look. All these products. Most of it will just go into a cupboard or thrown in a skip or whatever and never to be used, you know what I mean? And that's what we are, we're consumers, you know? It's mad, isn't it, how they get away with it? It's just astounding how they get away with it. It just amazes me, you know what I mean? You know? Hello, do you know anything about Rabboni? No? Oh, okay, thank you. So she didn't know. I think she's not. I think she don't speak English, but maybe not. Are you a travelling man, sir? No, good man. I love you. Yeah, he's not a travelling man. But that's the thing. See, yeah, that's right. This geezer, he might know. Excuse me, sir. Are you a travelling man? No. Oh, good man. I love you. Then you're the best. But there you go. You know that's you know some of these simple little questions. If you don't know the reply, you're buggered. Do you know what I mean? Now this geezer's got a right Masonic top on. Let's check him. I like his little dog look, but look at his top look. See? You know what I mean? Are you a travelling man, sir?
No.
Oh. Have you ever heard of Rabboni?
No, but I'm just looking for my little dog.
Oh, you're looking for your dog as well, are you?
Yeah.
Did it have a red collar on?
No.
Oh.
Tan one, I've got his fucking harness here.
Oh yeah, there's two dogs just run up there, mate. Oh yeah, someone just said two dogs run up there. Whether one was yours or not, was it about that tall? Oh, same as him. Oh, I didn't know, mate. Where'd you lose it? Shit, I thought you were looking for your dog. I thought like, oh, I didn't know you had another collar.
Yeah. No, I've got
mate, I didn't know, mate.
I'm looking for fucking one of them.
Where did you lose it? Where did it run?
St George's Park. The fucking guy have his fucking harness.
Oh, mate. Right, if I see it, I'll let you know, mate.
Yeah, it's a little tan one.
Yeah, if it is, I'll give it to the police, yeah? Yeah, you alright, mate? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I didn't realise he had two dogs. He's got one little one, look, going up there. And he's got one, he's now looking for the other one. Shit. In this town, mate, I'll bloody get run over. Like every bloody seagull. You know what I mean? That dog's full of shit. Hey, I like that. I know that's right. I'm bloody picking up. Watch your wheels, mate. Watch your wheels. No wheeling. Right. Oh, my leg is killing me, mate. Oh. But yeah. So that's it, man. You know, at the end of the day, I can't explain it enough to you. You know how I'm now walking towards the park, didn't I? Just see that that dog's there. You know what I mean? But that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? People don't realise how severely fragile their world can collapse around them if these Freakmasons decide to rise up out of the Masonic lodges, you know what I mean? Because the men are there, the numbers are there, hundreds of men, you know what I mean, across the world, in every town and city, and then they're already armed, yeah, and their secret caches and all the rest of it. They got the tunnels where they got their bases and all the rest of it. We got nothing, none of us, you know what I mean? And they know that, you know. If you see a little dog round here, just give it to the police, yeah? Run off. You know what I mean? I live at number 33. He's looking at me going, what? I was like, but a Freemason would know what I was on about, you know what I mean? But them little phrases, yeah, no, I don't think there's this little dog. Let's just have a little look. Right. Oh. Right. No. Yeah, I can't see it. It's definitely not in here. Oh, mate, I can't walk anymore. My sciatica is killing me, man. You know what I mean? It's driving me nuts. There's a couple of lads here I might be able to speak to. Let's see if they know. Oh, they're foreign, I think. I don't think they speak English. Anyone speak English? Any speak English? English? Oh, you do? Oh, wonderful.
Everybody will speak English.
Oh, everyone do? Oh, okay, well,
we are
you know.
in England.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, but there's some people who don't. Yeah, he doesn't speak
Well,
English.
yes,
Yeah, a little bit.
also.
You got Freemasons in your country? You ever heard of it?
Of course we know what is
Good
Freemason.
or bad? Good or bad?
Negative.
Negative, you don't know. How about you?
What's Freemason? Freemasons,
Oh, you
you
don't
don't know
know.
what is
Yeah, no, a
Freemason.
lot of people don't. That's why I asked. You know what I mean? They control the world, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that shit,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's negative.
Yeah, negative. Okay, yeah, I do a lot of research on them. You know, like, have you ever heard of the word Rabboni? No, Mahabone, Jabulum. Well, that would
Nice.
distinguish you without the temple, the Masonic lodge, and they would go and shoot you. You see what I mean? That's how they distinguish the profane people in any town or city, and they kill you. Look at the square and compass there. Do you see it? Look how they've done it in the. Let me get that. I'm not filming you guys. Don't worry. You see that square and compass? Look. Right there. Right, you see the steps that go up that side and down that side? Right here on the rails?
Yeah.
You see it? See how I've done it? Yeah, you see? Yeah, you see? And that's how they hide it in plain right. The symbolism, you see? The symbolism is hidden in plain right, but people don't see it, you see? So that's a square and compass
People
there.
are sleeping. They are
That's
sleeping.
right, yeah, they
The
are
mind
sleeping.
game,
Yeah,
the
they
mind
are,
game.
yeah. That's right. That's why each window is 3 for 33 degrees. You see? Yeah. And it's 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3 is a Masonic square and compass, yeah? Because you get 3 points, 2 and 3, and then when you mark them up, you get the square and compass. That's why, and it's all around. That's why each window's 6. Look, you see the little balls on the house as well. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Look, you see it's 3 windows, two windows, and then 6 windows. So it's 3, 2, 3, but it's hidden in plain right. Madness. But that's what it's about anyway. There's a couple of little dogs running. No, that's not them. No, they've got leads on the back. There's a little dog. Have you seen a dog run around here now?
Dog?
Yeah, it's run off.
Your dog?
No, not mine, a friend. Well, a guy. I just said I'd give it to the police if I see it. I'll just come over and have a look.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's nice to meet you all anyway. Have a good day. Yeah, and you, sir.
Thank
Solid,
you.
mate.
Yeah.
And you, kind lady. Take it easy. And you, kind man.
Thank
and
you.
Yeah. So,
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, and you, honestly. Yeah, it's good, mate.
Freemasons,
Yeah, negative. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Does negative mean, because obviously I don't want to get it wrong, does negative mean you got no point on it, or are they bad? You mean negative bad or good
Negative.
bad, yeah?
It's like sociology, you know, sociology.
Yeah.
It's the religion like they created. It's the same shit like Freemasons, you know.
Yeah, wicked. I like you,
Thank
mate.
you.
Take it easy. I'll see you again, yeah? Have a nice day, yeah? yeah, that was nice to meet them. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, at the end of the day, they're profane as us. Do you know what I mean? They've just been led here by the stories being given at the Masonic lodges within their towns and cities, yeah? And they create that mass migration or anything that happens in the world, you know what I mean? And it's all for a purpose, and it's all for a design. You know what I mean? Like here, no one's fucking doing anything, but if the Freakmasons got into the community and go, come on, everyone would do it. Everyone, do you know what I mean? Because the leaders would see that, and once that start flowing, then they stop it. Like the scooter gangs, you know, when everyone was going, fuck the establishment, bollocks to you, the think tanks went, well, what can we do? How can we organise these people that are going, fuck the establishment? How can we get them? So I know we'll make we'll make ska, and then they're dancing on these black and white tile floors, you know, join our gang, you know. And then when people, you know, come into the disco or the club, you know, whether it was say like a mod or a rocker or something like that, they beat them up. Do you know what I mean? You're going to join our gang. Now look at their gangs. It's in every town, every city, and they're backed up by the Freakmasons. And if you watch who runs the gang, the top leader is a Freakmason. Excuse me, girls, have you ever heard of Rabboni? Mahabone? No? None of that? See, that means you're not Freemasons, you know. And if I was a Freakmason, I would shoot you because you're profane. You see what I mean? And that's what they do during the war. When it hits, that's going to kill us. You know what I mean?
Oh, right, yeah.
Anyway, have a good day, girls. Are you on holiday? Are you?
No, we're okay.
All right, have a good day. Yeah. So you know, they look at you like, oh, you know, but they don't realise. You see what I mean? It's the same. You know, it don't matter what town or city you go to. It's the same system, the same types of windows of 666 or 323, like over here. Look, see it again. Look. See, 3, 2, 3. See what I'm saying? Same thing, same system all the time. I mean, look at the keystones, look, and the Masonic arches, look, you see? These would have been prestige Freakmason houses, you know what I mean? You got the sun hieroglyph on that one, so it's a different rank, look. You see the different sidebars on it, look? See the sidebars, look? The sidebars, or what I call them the sidebars, or the little Masonic squells, look. And then on these ones, you've not got it, you see? Because there's two different ranks to the two different systems, you see what I mean? And that's the difference between it, you know? But like I said, that they keep wasting their money on crap, but doesn't benefit anyone, and never has done and never will do. It doesn't benefit anyone, you know. This is theirs, look, you see, this is theirs. You know what I mean? Money well spent into their nation, that'll go on forever. Do you see what I mean? Because it remembers their people, not ours. That's why it's got pyramids on it, look. See, these are obelisks, look. You see, all obelisks to remember their people. Nothing to do with us. You know what I mean? We're not remembered. You know, you tell me any profane person in history that's remembered. No, it's Napoleon. It's Wellington. It's Albert Pook. Who else? You know, all them people are all Freakmasons. You know, Colonel Custard. You know, I'm trying to think of other people. You know what I mean, off the top of my head. You know, all of them. Churchill. You know, all them warmongers. Yeah. All Freakmasons, they're the ones that are remembered, because it's Freakmasons that control the narrative of everything. And if you ain't rowing along with them, then they obliterate you. And like I said, in war, you may be wearing a British uniform, you may be part of this gang or that gang, but the top echelons are there watching, and you're trusting them. And then when you're going, you know, you'll be the first one to be told to steam a bunker, and you have to follow that order. Do you see what I mean? Because then it gives them another excuse to shoot you because you're deserting or you're not doing as you're told. You know what I mean? So you'll do that. So you know, and then again, you've got the same, like I said, you can go out on patrol. If there's 5 profane people, there's only 15 people coming back, and that's the Freakmasons, because they know the 5 profane people are either getting used as guinea pigs or they're getting shot to thin out the numbers of the profane. You see what I mean? And that's what they do. Like I said, during war they put signs up, don't bomb here. That's why they do prisoner swaps of only high ranking officers. You know what I mean? It just serves them. You know what I mean? And they look after themselves and make sure they're not getting shot at or bombed or anything else. You know, look, who do you think's run? Look, the symbolism's there. Look, if you don't understand it, look, the point within the circle, you've got the 4 points. See? It's all there. Let me show you, my profane friends. Oh, we scroll out. See, look, this is your square, that's your square, yeah, that's your point within that square, that's your circle. You see what I mean? This is what it's all about. You know what I mean? It doesn't change, none of it does. Can you see it there now? Look, now it goes here, look, you see you got your 5 points. See, there your 5 points, which is 2, 3, 2. See, which makes your Masonic cube. See, it doesn't change, it's all there, mate. You know what I mean? You got your keystone above the door, look. See, and then if you notice, you see these 3 these here, look, they're your Omega, 3 Omegas, look. You see, Omega signs. So you know, it's not all done. You know, it's all done by design, and people don't see it, they don't know it. You know what I mean? Same as the whatever this is. I forget what it's called now, but that's what I'm saying. It's all the same, you see. And each one of these, look, on the side, look, these are pyramids, look, that make the pyramids. Remember, three circles make a square. That's all in there, you know, all in there. They own everything, all the property. You know what I mean? Do you really honestly think that's passed to a profane person working in a factory or stacking shelves in Asda's? You know, look, there's your Masonic cubes, look, you see, cubes of Saturn. See, all the that's a different rank, you see, because look at these ones, look, they're smoother, you see, look, a different design, it's a different rank. But if you don't know what that is, because you won't, because it's fucking to do with Freakmasons, you ain't got nothing to do. Look at this. What do you reckon that is? Look, hey, look, square, circle, pyramid, square, circle, pyramid. You see what I mean? They're all your solicitors. They're the ones that own everything. Excuse me, kind lady. Do you know anything called? You ever heard of Rab-Banian or Mahabone? That's Freemasonry. See, that's what distinguishes them up between us and them. They're in the temple, we're out. You see. Have a nice day. But you know, again, you're just getting people to stop and understand. You all right? Take it easy, mate. It's getting them to, you know, people to understand en masse. You know what I mean? Because I haven't got a telly. You know what I mean? And for me to stand there and explain to someone, you know, whether they're an adult, a child or whatever, it takes a lot to educate someone, do you see what I mean? And you can't, they know that, you know what I mean? That you can't educate people en masse, and that's where they get away with it. You all right, mate? Take it easy, mate. Have a great day. Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, go on, mate. He's all right. Yeah, he's all right. He didn't know what a fist pump was. Yeah, that's right. You got to train him up, mate. Good man. I liked him. Yeah, good lad. But yeah, you know, the thing is, you know, this is where when it comes, you know, and I've seen a couple of videos, I might add it in on this, you know, where we've got G travellers going, if war come, we're going to this, we're going to that, you know what I mean? Like I said, during the miners' strike, they were all involved in that, you know, the Freemasons, you know. Like I said, when there's a strike, who do they send in to break up the strike? They show you it in movies, Christ. You know, they send in the baseball bat fucking henchmen that come from, you know, an organised crime group, you know what I mean, and they batter up the family man that's doing the strike. And who's he working for? He's working for the guy who's the Freakmason that owns that factory, you see what I mean? And you can't do that. Do you got a hand with that, lady? Are you sure? I can carry it. Alright. Do you want a better bag? That looks like it's going to break. You alright? Yeah, alright. So, yeah, a bag look weak. I bet it breaks before she get up the bloody road. She's struggling with that, mate. But anyway, you know, and this is what they do, you know what I mean? They've done that through the centuries, through the decades. You know, you go against something, they harass you by coming with their gang, you know what I mean, of drug dealers. Take it easy, sugar puff. Hey, good man. And that's what it is, you know, and they use the criminals within your community to actually, you know, persecute you, gang stalk you, you know what I mean, so no one listens to you, you know what I mean. They don't want anyone coming, you know, like I said, you go ahead of a strike, yeah, you're the one who's going to get targeted, you're the one who's going to get your house stoned, bombed or anything, yeah, until you fall in line, and then you go, I don't want to be involved in that no more, it's too dangerous, whatever. Do you see what I mean? And that's what they do, and they've been doing that with it. They still do that today with door, you know, when you own a door, you know what I mean? There's door wars. Look at the door wars, you know, the bouncers and that, you know. They're the ones controlling all the doors. What have the police done about it? Nothing, you know what I mean? What have the police done about, you know, the government actually selling vapes, you know, to people. You know what I mean? All they've done is give people bigger addictions. You see what I mean? And actually give them popcorn lung or whatever else. What have they done about it? They know, but they don't do nothing about it because they know them vapes make people poor and keep them poor, and they consume that shit. You see what I mean? That's all about consuming. You see what I mean? That's what it's about. Keep people consuming, paying fines, paying their electric, paying their gas, even though we can put, you know, solar panels on every roof across the planet if we want to, because they've got the money. But for that to happen, you have to burn down a cathedral, and then the money come out, and all the billionaires then go, oh, we'll pour in all this money to restore this great monument which was Masonically built anyway. And then a couple of months later, that tsunami hit in Asia, and what money come out of the woodwork? Nothing. You see what I mean? Because the Profane got killed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What's the Profane? Nothing. They didn't build anything to help anyone. Nothing improves anything in any life. Do you know what I mean? Because if they did, like I said, they put solar panels on everyone's roof. They'd have more windmills generating free electric, but they don't. They want you to keep paying through the nose, being that slave. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Anyway, my profane friends, that's it. Anyway, okay, man, you ever heard of Rabboni? No? Good man. You know what I mean? I was going to ask them, but some people, when they get the look, and I'm like, you see what I mean? It's just that even the look, yeah, is like, boom, just tells me they're not, you know, they're not Freakmasons, you know. But like I said, that's what it's about. You know, if you don't know them simple lines or them simple passwords, Rabboni, Mahobone, you know, have you seen my dog run past there? Do you know what I mean? All them simple little code words these Freakmasons use, you know. If you don't know the replies, you're dead. You know what I mean? Because you're profane. You're not within the temple with us. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many more phrases that I could talk about. There's so many more passwords. Do you know what I mean? And it just never ends. You know what I mean? Never ends. And if you think your children are safe and you're safe, you're not. No one's safe. No children are safe. You know what I mean? Look through the centuries of what they did to people that talked out, whether that's like Boudicca, Spartacus, whatever. You know, all the people are rounded up, corralled, all into something, then just shot and mowed down. Do you know what I mean? And that's how they roll. Anyway, my profane friends, have a great day, and remember, Freakmasons within your town are not to be trusted. They own it all, they own you. And like I said, they'll gang stalk you, drug deal your kids, and you have got no say in it. Trust. You know what I mean, my profane friends? Have a great day.